Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bear's Workshop for the 237th flyover of the Nikola site in Coolidge, Arizona. And welcome back, everyone. I see we got a couple people on. We'll pause and stall so we can get more people on, of course. Today we got a flyover of the site. We saw another FCEV out there. This one labeled number 5. We are assuming that it is a beta, not a gamma. We had previously seen quite a few tanks out there, like somewhere in the neighborhood of like 30 hydrogen tanks. So that would definitely be enough for some betas and some gammas. Being that they're going in order and this is number 5, we're going to assume that this is still a beta. And maybe when we see the numbers reset, that might be the gamma. And obviously that question, or that answer, was for JJ's question about whether or not these are gammas. And maybe he wasn't saying it was as a question. Are these the gammas? No. Yeah, that sounds like a question. You need to put punctuation in your chat, please, JJ. Need to know whether they're questions or statements. Rail asks about whether I know anything about the land. And I do, but I've shared most of it, but we'll go over it again for those of you that didn't see the tweet that I put out. And we're going to run over the stock price again so we can all weep together profusely. And then we'll move on to the land, and then we'll watch the video. Thomas Chang asks, is Nikola accelerating their plans for the FCEV? They look to be moving faster with testing and rollout to Germany. Can't say whether or not they're speeding it up or not. Next year is coming rather quickly. So they do need to have these production ready. So I couldn't say that they're speeding it up. It just seems to be like it is right on schedule. Rail says 920 acres of vacant land in Buckeye for $16.5 million located near MC85 and Patterson Road in Buckeye. That's mostly right. And I've got a little bit more information. And JJ wants to know when I think they'll announce the hydrogen hub. I think they'll announce that whenever they decide to announce everything else that they're holding back on. Because they are definitely holding back. Let's see. Do you think the 4-week quiet period required by the FCC is why not a lot of official news release quite now? Well, this has been more like 4 months, if not longer. So I can't say this is a 4-week quiet period. This has been going on for quite a while, where Nikola has been very mum. This goes back to probably Q1 at least, where they were announcing some things and then they stopped. So real quick, stock was down 16 cents. It's down 3 cents in the aftermarket. So we're down at 290. Obviously, that's not good. There's no good side to this except for the fact that a lot of other stocks were down today. It was a down market. Lucid was down 37 cents, which is still a whole lot less than the 16 as far as percentage goes. Polestar was down. Let's see, Mulan and Solar were up, but they're just nearly at rock bottom anyway. And Tesla was also up $1.85. So definitely not a good day on the market for most of the stocks there. Depres, we just started just a couple of minutes ago, approximately 3 minutes and 50 seconds ago, so you're good. Now let's take a look at the land acquisition, and let me see if I could find the right window for that one. Here we go. All right, so the land, let's see, we'll go to the other page first. This is 28702 West Patterson Road, plus or minus 920 acres. It says northwest corner of MC85 and Patterson Road. It's actually it's an Arizona state route. I don't know why they're calling it MC. Maybe it's Maricopa County Road, but it is a state route, 85, that comes off of I-10. It's about 16 to 18 miles away from I-10. So this is not going to be an area where they're going to be pumping trucks. This has to be a production area for the hydrogen. I don't see them having Nikola trucks coming off of the I-10, driving 15 minutes in one direction, filling up and then driving another 15 on the way back. So I believe that this is just going to be a production facility. If it's going to be, but it should more than likely be. Yesterday in the live stream, I incorrectly stated that this property was owned by the state or the county, and that was incorrect. It was owned by an HLM LLC, and they own a bit of land out there, and they were the sellers, and they sold it to Phoenix Hydrogen Hub LLC. When I looked that up on the Arizona Corporation Commission, I found that there was 12 of these production Phoenix Hydrogen Hubs. You can see they're all labeled here. One of them is still in process because they're all very new. They're all very new as far as created in the last 2 months or so. Old man, the angry old man is here. Well, that's good. Debt Pres could not buy anything today because his funds hadn't settled. That's too bad. And can I tell Russell the Muscle to stop selling, please? Yeah, he's not going to take my advice. Whatever reason he's selling for, he has his own personal reasons, I'm sure. It could be anything from taxes to maybe he's buying a new house. Who knows? Whatever the reasons are, I'm sure that he needs to do it. And I am not someone who's going to tell him not to. Now, also looking through here, you notice entity type is foreign LLC because TC Energy has their name on all this. Even though on the other page you can see that the buyer contacts is the Phoenix Hydrogen Hub LLC, and it's Nikola Corporation is the contact, and the stuff that I've redacted there is a Nikola person's name, email address, and I think it was his phone number, but I took that off because that doesn't need to be out there. So Nikola is the contact. TC Energy appears to be the owner, but this could be part of the collaboration that they have together and part of their partnership where they both own it. But I can't say for sure if it's 100% owned by TC Energy, 100% by Nikola, or a combination of the both. Let's see. All right. So Mark Russell just cashed another 150 options. You know, it's possible that these options are expiring and he has to cash them in, if I'm reading that correctly. At some point you have options and you have to take them. So not really sure. Maybe, I don't know. So anyway, this was the information I found. I thought it was interesting. I would have thought that one LLC would have been enough, and they have 11 more. So what do you guys think? Is this for opening up actual filling stations around the state? Is that the plan? Maybe that's part of it. I don't know. I don't think that they're going to create 12 production hubs around the state, but I think that it's very possible that maybe these are for filling stations or something else, but we don't know. All conjecture. The other thing, people were wondering why this land it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and that could be related to getting permits and getting this thing started. When you have a hydrogen station inside of a town, you are going to have a lot more permitting that you have to do. And from what I was told several months ago, was that getting a hydrogen station permitted, very, very costly, very expensive, and there's a lot of things that you have to do in order to get it right. So by going outside of any town limits, that could actually make it easier to build. All right, Lockbird. I like I said, I don't know. It's just throwing that out there, and you're probably right. Let's see. Mark Russell will be running a Nikola battery subsidiary in Cypress, California. He needs the funds to buy a home. Okay, like I said, he could be buying a home. Oldman seems to believe that. I'm going to say source, question mark, for you, Mr. Oldman, old man. So Anyway, that's what I found out about this. That's the additional information I could find out. I thought it was interesting stuff. So uh, let's go ahead and take a look at the video, shall we? So we did see new trucks out there again today. Besides the FCEV Beta, there were some more production trucks, probably about 10 more than what we saw last time. So the number is continuing to increase. This is our recap, every 2-month recap. I'm not sure if we've caught up on this. Next one should be January, and then March. But you can definitely see how the site has changed quite a bit, even this year. May, let's see if we got one for July yet. Yes, we do. And we should have one for September, but we don't. We have to talk to somebody about that. All right, so when we first took off, we had a truck out on the test track. And yes, he is moving, and we stopped. He wasn't hauling butt like we've seen him do out there, but he's still moving. Now you can see that this is another one of the test trucks. It's got some of the information written on the side, so they're doing some more testing, just going around the track. And we were kind of swinging around trying to get some good views of this thing, and I think we got some pretty good views. Like I said, we've seen them go around the track a lot quicker before. No reason why he's going slower, or no conjecture. It's just for whatever reason, whatever testing they need, it needed to be done at this speed. Our max speed is around 44, 45. We weren't going that fast, and we were able to pace them. Now you can see over here in the circle, after this truck pulls in, there's 8 semis right there. Walterman asked me, why do I think the delay is regarding the news from Nikola? I'm not sure. I mean, I know they have news. I know that they're sitting on news because I've been told that certain things had happened, but they've never been announced. So what is it that's holding them up? I don't know if they're possibly waiting for Trevor Milton to be sentenced. Maybe if the stock price stays down, Trevor Milton has to sell them. Maybe he has to sell them for less. I don't know. Again, conjecture. I don't even know if that's legal, because at some point you have to announce certain things to your investors, I would think, and holding back certain information, not necessarily a great thing. It's certainly not doing wonders for the stock. I also know announcing a bunch of things right now, it's going to temporarily inflate the stock, and then it's probably going to drop back down because the rest of the market is dropping down constantly, consistently, annoyingly. Now over here on the right hand side, you can see all these trucks lined up here. Some of these are their test trucks, and a lot of these are saleable trucks. Any update on the Badger? I'd like to think Heavy D can be trusted. I can't tell you whether or not he can be trusted. I don't know him. I've watched him do a lot of videos. I watched a lot of his shows, and he seems like a trustworthy guy, but he also said something was going to come out, and I haven't seen anything out yet. So hopefully there'll be a video out soon from Heavy D in regards to this. I would love to see what might come out. I'd love to interview him too. That would be awesome too. All right. There is our FCEV Beta. We're going to go in a couple times to take a look at it. It's got a couple tags on it. We've got water leaking out from underneath it. which means it may just be running and sitting idle, but we're going to go back to that in a minute. As you can see, we've got the wash station down here, the dyno building right here. There was a truck parked out in front of it. Looked like it was going to go in, except there was a forklift or something in the way. So they may actually be using this building now. I've yet to see a truck enter or exit, but it looks like it's fully operational for the most part. So here's another look at the fuel cell truck. You can see on the side, we've got a number 5 up here. It says hydrogen on the side. These little pieces of paper that are on the side say something about it being H2O. Fuel cell EV Beta, 600 miles range. I think they have it down for 500 with 900 in the future. So that's what we're looking at. All right, well, I think we're going to take a look back at that in a minute. But the fuel cell truck looks really good. I'm excited to see the progress on that. Now, one thing that we did not get a close-up because we didn't see it, well, and I'm going to zoom in on this. Last week, we took a look at that truck with the cab. It was a different type of cab, an Iveco cab sitting on a frame, and this might be that same. Oh, I'm sorry. There's that truck, but then we've got another cab over here, and we have another rolling frame right here. So we're not really sure what's going on here. We've got these frames here. We're not sure if these are production frames or if those are the old frames that got phased out that used to sit up in this area over here. Though our frame count up here is also much less. So we're definitely seeing more product going in. JJ, are we beating the 500 trucks this year? I'm going to say no. I'm still thinking low to mid 400s. But I still think the pace needs to be picked up a little bit in order to get there. We only have 2.5 months left, and we have holidays coming up too. All right, so there's that truck. Going back up, that's the battery building. That's where the batteries are stored. Only one time have we seen a cart coming out with the batteries loaded up, but it was still kind of cool to see that come out. And you can see here we've got a stack of like 3 frames here, another 6 right there. So the frames are going in and disappearing, and they're coming out as full trucks. Depres 375 to 425. Old man says the part shortage, but not as bad as before. I think the main holdup was the battery packs. So, they did set expectations for 300 to 500. So it is possible that they can do 500. They affirmed that on the Q2 earnings, which was still September. So it's still very possible. Kim Brady said more than likely at the low end of 300 due to charging station issues. Okay. Well, we'll see how it rolls out. I would like to see a higher number. I think we all would. Well, I think there's actually some of us who don't want to see a higher number. And you guys know who they are. Nikola just works one shift. As far as we can tell, that is the way it's going right now. We have seen that they were there. They have been working on Fridays, where previously they were doing 410s. Now it doesn't appear that way. Over here on the Phase 2 construction, we can see they have, I think it's about 27 sections of the building completed. They have the roof decking on the top, but they haven't started laying any of that out. But they have been working on the sides of the walls, the outside walls. You can see they have all the supports are in there, and they're working their way around. This has been a little bit slower going than I expected, but at the same time, I know that they're still on schedule. So I've said this before, there's no reason to bring on an extra crew just to hurry up. There's no reason to pay extra guys to lay them off when you don't need them if they're still on schedule. All right, there's the truck that was right in front of the dyno building. Now, if I recall correctly, the dyno station is like right in the middle. But that one was parked there. We've got another 3 right there. And let's see if we can get a look in here. I don't think we did. Right over here is where we saw those hydrogen tanks before. Look at that, Josh. Josh always will pull through for me. Still on schedule, confirmed. Josh is the director, I'm probably getting his title wrong, the director of construction at Wallbridge. Yeah, Josh, can you tell us when Nikola is going to give us an update on anything else? On anything? Do they make the portable chargers here? I never see them. They're portable charging trailers. Oh, thank you, JJ. I appreciate that. JJ says, Bear, you flying over the hydrogen hub, though? That hub is a pretty good distance from where we're at. We'd be looking at an hour and a half each way. So probably not. And that also probably might end up under an infrastructure rule, energy infrastructure, and we would not legally be able to fly over it. We would only be allowed to fly around it, and then we would still be limited at about how close we can get to it. So it's probably not a possibility. Yeah, that really looks like water coming out of that truck, which is pretty much the exhaust from it. When we've seen them going down the road, there's been water pouring out of them, almost like a I don't want to say water fountain, because rumor has it that Trevor said that these trucks are going to have water fountains in them. And I don't want to go there. Josh says, remember the piece of paper. Okay, yes. I have to keep my mouth shut on those things. Though I think most everything you've told me is all public knowledge now. So anyway, there is the FCEV, looking great. Looking great. That was our better view of it that I promised. You can see how it's got the battery packs in the back, but not as many are in there as the regular BEV. All right, so yeah, it's looking good. I really like the design, the way it flows into that. I don't know if they're making that in-house or they're having that produced somewhere else. But like I said, that's looking good. That's going to look really good with a trailer on it. We got the cabs on the right. We've got more, well, we're going to take another look at the FCEV. Yeah, it's spinning all over the place. So I'm not sure if all of those are batteries or some of them are just covers. But more than likely there's not 2/3 of the battery that would be in a BEV. I would imagine that is going to be, some of those are just going to be covers. Back over here, we've got 3 more test trucks. We've got all the cabs waiting to be brought in and turned into trucks. On the left-hand side, we've got supplies. We've got fifth wheels. Very few tires left. So I would expect to see an order of tires coming in real soon. Can you tell which cabs are for the FCEV? Are they the same? They may actually be the same, and maybe a little bit of modification because of the way things are set up. First of all, I know at some point they put on something on the back of the cab that says battery electric vehicle. That's obviously not going to be on the FCEV. But all of these, keep in mind, are made on the same production line. So whatever has to be done to them would be modest, and they can just continue down the production line. Yeah, the FCEV is definitely going to be lighter than the BEV. There's no question about that. And Josh, if you're still on, what are those green things over on the left right here? Been wondering that for a while. What are those? Badger with a water fountain is a great idea. When you're out off-roading on a rural trail, a water fountain is more eco-responsible than water bottles. Yeah, I just wonder if it would taste funny. I don't know. Um, the grills are different. Well, the grills are put on. Those cabs sitting there all have none of them have grills installed. Those grills are installed after they go through the cab line, which they're still working on putting together. That was it for the video. We're going to just recycle this because I know we've had people show up late because we have 82 people on, but only 33 likes. Josh, I hope you've hit that like button. There's the FCV. There's an FCV from a while ago. That's the breast cancer one. So if you guys want to look at that for a comparison, there we go, right there. And you can see the large section. Oh, look at that. What was I doing? I thought I paused it. Here we go. We're going to pause it, and I swear we're going to pause this. Oh, am I going the wrong way now? Okay. Awesome. Okay. Stop. Let's zoom in on that. You can see the grill kind of looks the same. Trying to get in there real good. The grill appears to be the same, though there can be differences. It's hard to tell from this crappy angle, but you can see the entire box in the back, which holds all of the equipment, the hydrogen equipment right here. This is where the storage tanks are, so it's pretty safe to assume that on those betas that we're looking at that are covered up, that there are no batteries in here, right here, on either side, because those are the storage tanks. The bulletproof storage tanks. Josh says, show me again, I wasn't watching. Oh, okay, all right. Josh, I really need you to pay attention. You got to know what's going on. These two over here. I think I don't know what they're for. I'm not going to make a guess because I'm going to be wrong. But they're both out here. They're some sort of trailer that hooks up to something. They've got wheels on them. But we've been looking at that for months, trying to get a clue as to what they actually are. So please, inform us. Inform us. Sarah says her anxiety level drops when she watches the videos. Yeah, mine don't. I mean, it's good to see the videos, but my anxiety is right there, moving in all the wrong directions. All right. What's more believable, water bottle or cyberboat? I believe in both, so call me gullible. Where is the like button on the iPhone? Good question. I think you have to scroll or something. Ogden says, I look good in a blue shirt. So far, your best outing. Looking good. Thank you. Thank you. You should see all the food that's like down below that because I drop it on myself because I kind of eat with two hands. Frac tanks. Referring to sanitary. Okay. All right, for cleaning wastewater, I assume. Let me know if that is correct. And I'll probably forget that and ask in 6 months again. I love just watching these trucks just drive around. From coming out here when there is 8 pieces of steel sticking out of the ground and to what we're seeing now. JJ says Russell is retiring because I never wore the shirt he gave me. I did wear the shirt. I wore it for one episode, but it's a large, and I'm not a large. I'm 2 times the size of large. So it was kind of like my belly button was hanging out. It kind of looked like a little bit of kind of like a redneck thing. My gut was hanging out. It was not very attractive. You guys couldn't see it, but I gave it to my 16-year-old son because he wears a large. Does anyone know when we are seeing daylight with the stock? I think we're going to have to wait for the entire market to turn around. Someone from Korea said something. I don't know what. Somebody translate for me. Deep says when Trevor sells. You know what? And, that's very possible that could be part of it. But unfortunately, this could always be appealed. And this could get drug on for a lot longer. So let's hope that doesn't happen at all. Let's say Hamburg Port Authority has said that the Nikola BEV they have will be converted to Nikola FCEV by removing 7 battery packs of the 9 and install hydrogen tanks, fuel cells, and miscellaneous parts. Well, they are built on the same line, and they can go down the same line, and they can go from one to the other very easily, from what I've been told. Can we show the track footage from the last video? I don't have that handy. Sorry. Dead Prez also said he liked the truck circled the lap, and he watched it 7 times. Geez, you guys really loved that video, didn't you? Well, I appreciate that. And just keep watching it. Make sure you watch all the ads, too. So that building, that section of the building right there, which is a utility building, it looks like there's 1 or 2 of them on the other side. At least 1, possibly 2. Korean translation, expect a rebound. Thank you. It's good to have people translate for me. Watch the last 30 seconds of it, set it up for autonomous driving. Are you talking about the last video or this one? And how do you know? Just out of curiosity, how would you know if it was set up for that? Strange, because all the analysts are pricing Nikola at around $12, yet we are stuck at $3. Some things don't make any sense here. We need to blow up sooner or later. Walterman says Arizona has a lot of lithium mining capability. Have you heard of this? I have not heard of that. We do a lot of copper here, and that's probably one of our biggest things is copper. We have mines out east of the Phoenix area. There's also in a place called Globe. There's also a mine down in Ajo, which is shut down right now, but it's not depleted. It was shut down over a union fight 20 or 30 years ago, where they wanted to unionize, and the owner said, "Now we're good," and they just shut it down. Let's see. Azara wants to know what news do we believe will come from the earnings report. At this point, I'm expecting the least amount as possible, hoping for the most, expecting the least, and I expect that they're going to announce how much revenue they had, their expectations for the end of the year, for the full year, for the fourth quarter. They'll announce how many trucks they produced, how many they delivered, and just say that everything's on track. I think we're going to get the bare minimum. Seb, no, you're incorrect. This company is still alive. They've never died. Its CEO is not in jail. Their CEO is a man by the name of Mark Russell, who's retiring at the end of the year. It's the founder that is going to end up in jail for fraud. So it's different. Get your facts straight. Go troll somewhere else. Let's see. Ogden has $250,000 in the company, hoping for this baby to come alive. Yes, I think we all are, except for Seb Paris, who is not following closely enough to get his facts straight. Nevada is where they usually have lithium deposits. There's also some in California. Forget the name of there's a salt lake out there that is just loaded with lithium. let's see here. Over here, you can see the rubber membrane material is sitting there waiting to be put up on the roof. Eventually, we're going to see some of these HVAC units come in and be sitting around somewhere on the site. It looks to me that they'll probably need another 8 to 12 of these for this area. Not sure exactly, but somewhere around there. But they're going to have to get them back up there, and probably need a crane for that. Big difference, founder frauds and everything, okie dokie. Yeah, there is a big difference because Trevor Milton's was thrown out of his own company over 2 years ago, and the company that exists now today is not the same company that it was then because we have different people running it. Week of October 31st, the roofing starts. Thank you, Josh. If you don't want to be here, Seb, don't be here. Does anyone know why Mark is actively selling? IML correction, 2 years. 2 years. It was September of 2020 that he was kicked out. Old man had some information on why Mark is selling and where he's going. And I'm going to have to look that up. So does that mean he's going to be working at Romeo, or what exactly? What do you know? But I'm going to look into that more. Salar de Uyuno is there in 2019. Heard Richard buying land down there. Sean, are you talking about the area in California? Oh, the Salton Sea. Sarah got the name for me because that's what I couldn't remember, the Salton Sea. McRae Ford, big question is how many capital raises will they need to scale? Well, the situation they're in right now, they have enough cash on hand for the next year, and they won't need to do a capital raise for a while. They plan on keeping as much. They want to keep capital on hand for 1 year in the future. Right now, that I think they have more than a year. So expect capital raises in the future as these trucks are produced and made, and as their margin comes in line. They're going to need less and less money, but it is expected that they are going to need more money. Bolivia, the largest salt flats in the world. Well, the best salt flats for any U.S. company would be anything that was close. Seb says, not sure what he's looking at. Nothing is happening. Sand in parking lot. You know what? We don't really need you here. Why don't you leave? If you can't see what's plainly in front of your eyes and you just want to say that it's not there, leave. Nikola Tesla, they don't have enough cash for a year. Less than 6 months. Incorrect. They are counting their equity line also as cash on hand. So, Seb, no, that's not hydrogen leaking. That's water. That's a byproduct. Do I think Trevor's going to appeal the sentence? I think he probably will. He's got enough money to do it. Why would he not? JJ points out that we figured out the problem with the haters. They're actually blind. All right. I'm a Tesla fan also. I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm a Tesla fan. I'm rooting for the Tesla Semi. I'm rooting for anything that works. Why not? Competition is great. I don't have to hate one if I like another. I really don't. My only problem with the Tesla Semi is that I don't think it's going to come out for the price that they advertised. I don't think it's going to come close unless they literally are intentionally losing money on it. I don't think they have any need to do that. They can sell it at whatever price point is necessary for them to make a profit, and they're still going to sell the trucks. So I think that they may have underestimated the cost back when they first put out the price, but I'm sure that price is going to go up. All right, goodbye, Seb. Leave. Mr. Bogue says, long live Nikola. Nikola Tesla, you should change your name. All right. Everything that the company has been showing for the last year or 3 months or 6 months has been positive. The only thing that's not been positive has been the stock price. They haven't had any issues producing the truck. They're meeting their goals. They haven't had any issues long term getting supplies. They're getting them. They're not as quick as they want, but they're getting what they need. They're getting buyers for these vehicles. That's not the equivalent of a death spiral. So, Nikola Tesla, change your name to Clown World, okay? So, anyway, I'm not going to deal with the haters anymore today. I want to thank everyone for being here. We are going to get off here in a minute. We've been on for 41 minutes. I'm getting old, getting cranky. The sun's going down. I'm old. It's my bedtime soon. So, you guys got any more comments? Stick them in there. If there's anything you want to add, go ahead and put it in the comments. Would you trust buying a Tesla truck over a Nikola truck? Would you trust Tesla to be here in 10 years? Would you trust Nikola to be here in 10 years? Is that the basis for what you would buy a truck over? That's fine. Buy a Tesla truck. You're probably not, because you probably don't have a need for one, but you don't buy one. These trucking companies don't buy one truck, one brand. They buy different types of trucks. They diversify their vehicles in order to have flexibility when things go wrong. Let's see. Did you hear anything on Walmart? We haven't heard anything on Walmart. We haven't heard whether or not they're finishing. That's probably something else we'll hear in the earnings reports, whether there's other companies doing testing and whether or not there have been companies that have finished testing. All right. Well, that's going to be about it for today. I want to thank everybody, including the haters, for being here. It just helps me make some conversation, debunk some of the myths, like it looks like sand and dust. But hey, whatever. I want to thank everyone for being here. We'll be back in a couple of days. We're going to be doing our flyover over Lucid, and you guys are more than welcome to join us for that. So thanks for being here. Keep putting your comments into the comments. I'll answer them if they're directed at me. Otherwise,